In this two-part video series, I'll be showing you how to create this realistic leather sofa you can see right here. I have 3 more ends I can show you to give you a better idea of what we'll be making. So I have already done a couch tutorial on my channel before, but it wasn't as nice as it could have been. The actual couch was quite a bad model, and the recording quality was also very terrible. So this is a new and improved version, a much improved version as well. And a lot of people have been telling me that I don't explain things as well as I should when I'm busy modeling and stuff. So in this video, I'll try to explain it a bit better, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to. I don't think I'm very good at making videos just yet. But yeah, so this is the final model. You can see it right here. So if this is something you'd like to learn how to create, then keep watching. Okay, so before we begin with the modeling, I just want to clean up my viewport a bit. I'm going to select this lamp by right-clicking and then holding Shift and selecting this camera. Then hit X, delete, and that's going to switch up this timeline and close that toolbar by hitting T. You don't have to do any of that. I just like having a nice clean viewport when I model. Okay, so we'll be transforming this D4 cube into the base of our couch, the bottom cushion. So I'm going to go into orthographic view mode and then top view mode, and this is going to hit S, Y, and that's going to only scale on the Y axis. Now I'll just scale this down to about there, and then to about there, just about a couch, double couch size. But that looks fine. Alright, so this is going to be a 2-cushion couch, and of course in 3D modeling, there's never any point in modeling the same thing twice. So because we have stuff like duplicate and mirror modifier. So what we're going to be doing here is using a mirror modifier to give us our second cushion, so we only have to model the first cushion. Okay, so the mirror modifier is going to mirror our rectangle here from on its local axis, which is represented by the 0, 0, 0 point is represented by that orange dot you can see right there. So that means we need to move these 4 verts just beyond that orange dot to about there, just like that. Okay, so let's go into with our cube selected, let's go into the modifiers menu, add a modifier, and select mirror modifier, and there we have it. Alright, cool. So next thing we need to do is add some more geometry so we can start the modeling process. Let's hit Control R, and then I was going to hit number 9, just like that. So now we've cut it 9 times on that side. Going to do the exact same thing, Control R. This we're going to add 2 loop cuts horizontally, and then 7 that side. And of course I've pre-selected those values. I'm not just sucking it out of my thumb, just to save time. Okay, then I'm going to select wait, I forgot what I was doing. Oh yes, of course this needs to be a lot smoother because couches aren't square. So I'm just going to select everything by hitting A, and then I'm going to hit W and then smooth. I'm just going to smooth this out once because in general sofas are more squared and more tight than a traditional leather couch. So yeah, another thing about sofas, wherever the 2 cushions meet, they're generally very squashed up. So we can do this just by selecting all these verts over here, and then S, X, and then 0. And then setting on this side, SX 0. And now if we just move these over here, it's going to look like it's like they're really pushing up against each other. Okay, another thing I want to do is select all of these corner verts. This selection I'm doing here is hitting C, and then you can select like that. It's called circular select or something like that, circle select. Okay, then you can hit S, Y, and I'm just going to scale these out to about there. Okay, so next thing I want to do, let's add in a subdivision surface. The subdivision surface is another modifier. The shortcut for this is Control and then the number of times you want to subdivide it. For this couch, I'm going to subdivide it twice. Let's do Control number 2, and there we have it. It's now been subdivided twice. But you'll notice that these couches have these 2 ends have now drifted apart from each other. So what I'm going to do is just add another loop cut and bring it all the way to the edge there. And this is called the holding edge. And there we have it. It looks like they're pushing up against each other again. Let's do the same thing on this side, just like that. Now I'm going to go into the side view mode, and I want the front of our couch to kind of like fall off a little easier. I don't want this harder edge over here, so let's go into side view mode, and I'm just going to drop this down to about there. Let's bring this down as well, just like that. That looks cool. Yeah. Okay, so let's enable smooth shading. I can do this just by with Pi menus. You can just hit Z and then smooth shading, but if you're not using those, and you're probably not, you can just go to this toolbar with everything selected. You can go shading and then just select smooth. There you go. Alright, so I think it's about time now to start adding those seams. That's going to be quite tricky, but well, I mean, if you don't know how to do it, it's quite tricky, but I'll show you a cool way of doing it now. Let's quickly pause for a second. I'm just going to open a window. It's quite hot here. Alright, so now that we've finished that, let's add in those UV seams. I'll just loop cut, add 2 loop cuts close to the center loop cut, quite small, something like that. I'll do the same thing to these side ones, like that. Now I'm going to select the center loop cut of all of these, and we're going to make these the seams across. Anyway, let's go to loop cut mode, I mean wireframe mode. Okay, so this is actually quite distracting. All of these, you can see all these loop cuts from our subdivision surface. We can hide these by selecting optimal display, just like that. So that's quite helpful there. Okay, so I want to scale this in, but if we just hit S for scale and scale this in, it's going to scale it to the median point, and this is definitely not what we want, is it? We want to scale them each similar to how the center one is being scaled. So the way we can do this is by hitting Alt S. It's going to scale on the normal direction, as you can see. But another problem with this is with Alt S, it's scaling on. You can see it's scaling on the y-axis faster than the x-axis. But that's not a problem because we can just scale like that and then hit S, X, and then scale like that. That's cool. That's what we want. Okay, so let's actually scale a little bit more. I don't think that was enough. Whenever you scale anything on a rectangular object, it'll always scale on the one axis faster than the other, so it's important to keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm just gonna move these over to the left side on the x-axis, just to about there. Actually, these are a bit too far apart. Let's move these closer to like there. Okay, so that's looking good. But now we need to add some holding edges to each side of our seams. Let's do that just by adding the loop cuts. Control R, Control R, Control R. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks good. I'm happy with that. Yeah, cool. Okay, so that's it. Those 3 over there. We're just going to add one more going this way. And I won't make this one in the center, but I'll put one up. I just think it looks still cooler. I'm going one up. Okay, the same sort of thing, but I want to deselect all these bottom ones, as well as this one over here, just like that. And then let's just scale these down to about there, and then, yeah, like I said, rectangular objects, one side is always going to scale faster than the other. Then I'm just going to move these over on the y-axis to the left side, just to about there, like we did with the other one. Let's bring this closer to about there. Add in a holding edge, just like that. And that looks pretty cool. Awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to select each of these places where these seams meet. I'm going to deselect the bottom ones, just like that. And then I'm just going to hit G, X, and scale this down. Actually, before we do that, let's grab these faces over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hit S, and then holding down Control, I'm just going to close that twice. I'm just going to scale that like twice, like that. 1, 2, oops, that's 3. 1, 2. Cool. Let's select these intersections here. Deselect the bottom ones. That's going to drop these down to about there. And then you can see that it already makes the sofa look so much more realistic. That really has a huge effect. Well, for me anyway, I don't know if it looks realistic to you. Okay, so another thing we want to do is that button again. How's that? Like, so many times I'm recording a video, I hit this one shortcut key that makes my object transparent so I can see right through it, but I actually never know what that shortcut key is. Doesn't matter, I can still work like this. I'm going to select the tops of my mesh here. Actually, this isn't going to work. I'm just going to figure this out. I'm going to pause the video and I'll get back to this. Alright, sorry, that was simple. It's actually this button right here. Anyway, I'm going to select these faces over here. And then G and then X, and I'm going to lift these up a bit to about there. And that's going to, that might have been a bit too much actually. That is going to make it look a little better. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's do the same thing with these, this side. Bit, just like that. Okay, yeah. This is looking good. Next thing is those buttons, or yeah, those button-like things at the at these where these seams meet. So let's go into edit mode and we'll add these in edit mode. So we could use the same mirror modifier to transfer to the cushion. I'm just gonna hit T, and in this add circle properties over here, I'm just gonna select 16 verts instead of 32. Then I'll just scale this way down, about the size of our button, just about there, perhaps way too big. Yeah, about there. Scale it before I start duplicating. Whenever you have an object that's a lot darker than the rest, like this, it's usually because your normal direction has been is the wrong way. So you can just, if your OS is normal, so you can just select recalculate. I'm actually not sure if I explained that already in this tutorial. I might have. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Then we can just position that right there. That's a bit too far down. Right there. No, that looks fine. I'll duplicate this to each of my seams. Just like that. That is cool. Okay, so what's next? Let's do the back of our couch. And to do that, I'm going to just duplicate this this base here. I'm going to right click. I'm going to hit R and then 90. And then we can rotate it 90 degrees. I'll position it to about here. Let's rotate it to make it look a bit more comfortable. To about there, looks good. Then we want to spread these apart a bit so they don't look like they're going into each other. That'll look good here. That will do something similar to this cushion. That'll look cut over here. And then just like that. Doesn't have to be perfect, no one's going to be looking there. Or at least in my rend, no one's going to be looking there, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Just something like that is perfect. Well, perfect enough for this. Okay, and for the front of our couch, I'm going to bring these out a little bit more. Not those, let's just do these. Quite a lot more to about there. That looks cool. Okay, so I think I'll leave it like that for now. I think that's good enough. Let's do that like half armrest thing we had over there. So to do this, I'm going to duplicate this whole side of my couch, and then I'm just going to right click and then hit P and then separate selection. P, select that. And now this is its own object, but everything would have carried, including the modifiers, as you can see. So we want to just delete this mirror modifier by hitting this little X. something like that looks cool. Okay, so another thing, this origin point is over here because we separated it. So it's at the origin point of this couch here, and we don't really want that. So in object mode and with this selected, you can hit spacebar and then it says set origin and then select that and then set origin to geometry, just like that. That's a cool little feature right there. When I first started Blender, I used to always go into edit mode and then move my geometry to the origin manually, and that was just a pain because then you always had to set it back to your where you had it before. That's a little, yeah, but it's easy to do it that way. All right, so yeah, next, we need to add that cushion over there, that circular cushion, and then the armrest and the legs. I'm just gonna pause for a second. All right, so let's move on to the armrest. I will add a cube and then just here. Make it about the same height as the seam in the center of our couch. Just about there, not too thick. Something like that should do, maybe a little thinner. Yeah, like that should be fine. Maybe a little thinner, actually. Then I'll just make it as wide as the couch. So there looks good. Cool. Okay, so for the verts, for the loop cuts, I'm going to do one across over here. Then I'm going to do 9 across this way, and then 7 across this way. Like that, that looks cool. Much like we did with the couch, I'm going to add loop cuts like this, and one in the center, another one over here, and one in the center. And when we scale these down, it's going to look like a seam. Oops. Let's grab these and then scale them down to about there. Control number 2 to add a subdivision surface, and we can see that looks good. Let's go bring this a little down. Yeah, that's good. Cool. We're going to edit mode. I'm going to add a edge loop down here. Edge loop down here, just to flatten it out a bit. At the bottom. Yeah, that looks good. I'm happy with that. Yeah, cool. Okay, you'll notice this is actually a little darker than the couch, but that's just because the couch has a material assigned to it and this armrest doesn't. Let's assign that same material, so it's the same color. There you go. The same shade in the viewport, but of course that wouldn't affect the render. Not yet anyway, because we haven't given it a color. Alright, so yeah, I'm not too concerned about the bottom of the couch because that's not going to be showing up in our render, but you might want to put like maybe a steel frame or something if you will see that in your render, but I'm not too worried about that. Okay, so for the sake of time, I'll time-lapse modeling this little circular cushion. It's probably the simplest thing and one of the simplest things to model in this. And the last thing we need to do is model the legs of the couch. That'll be it for the modeling. Alright, so that's it for this video. In the next video, we'll be doing the texturing, the shading, and then the lighting and then the rendering.